Hello and welcome to Hearthlack. This is a shrine moon dedicated to the God Emperor, where it has a fake atmosphere and it's luscious and green and there's much glory. And in this mission, there are 5 shrines to the Emperor that the Chaos Forces are trying to burn to the ground. Of course, the Black Templars are trying to make that not happen, so let's dive in.
Dark King.
John the Cron has been playing the Thousand Suns and Tzeench demons, and today he's attacking Hearthlack to try and probe the moon for essentially for weaknesses before diving in. We have been playing this campaign. This will be 8 games so far, and I decided to write it all down. We had the first phase of the campaign that was very dominant by chaos. They were able to receive a bonus. They now use deceitful tactics for the rest of the campaign. In phase 2 of the Faith and Change campaign, the Black Templars rallied and were able to push the chaos back, helping wrestle control of Hearthlack and almost getting Stormfall back into Imperial domain. They did gain a bonus, the Supreme Gambit. And now as we move to phase 3, we've played one game where the Black Templars were able to get a foothold back on Dontoria, and now it is moving into stage 2 as the forces of chaos lead an attack into the Imperial Shrine Moon. Today we are playing All to Ashes from the Strike Force mission, where the Chaos Forces are attacking the defenders on Hearthlack, and they're trying to raise their idols to the ground. So these missions are as follows. The attacker can do an action on idols of the enemy to burn them down. The defender, the attacker, gets 3 paragons this game. And I get, the defender, me, will get 4 points at the end of each battle round, except for the first, for each idol that I still have on the table. And the attacker, or John, will get a number of points equal to how many idols he has removed from the table, essentially, which is really awesome. So let's dive in to the forces we have brought to Hearthlack. And here we have 80 power level of loyal and brave Black Templars that are crusading and stopping the forces of chaos, led by Marshal Augustine himself, with Chaplain Iago, who is his spiritual consort, as well as Leonard, the pious Emperor's champion, whose visions of the Emperor have spurred him ever forward to slay the champions of chaos. Then we have ancient brother Alexandra, who is carrying the revered banner of the 9th Crusade. And of course, Otto, the Stompy Dreadnought. Then we have the Blades of Dorn, which are my Blade Guard veterans, as well as the Marshal's Zeal, to my Sword Brethren squad. Sigismund's Light, the Infiltrator squad, ever seeking out the heretic to burn. We also have the Light of the Emperor, the Crusader squad, teaching the novitiates how to fight on the heat of the battlefield. And Holy Zeal, an Assault Intercessor squad who work their way up from the ranks of the other Crusader squad at the start of the campaign, which was pretty awesome. Then we have Dorn's Wrath, which are the Eliminators, and Retribution, which are the Hell Blasters over here. And then Sigismund's Flame, which is, of course, the Impulsor. There you have it. We are ready to fight the forces of chaos. And here we have 80 power level of chaos. John, what have you brought?
The Inferno rises. We have, leading the force, we have Lord Infinium on his disc. We have Tim, the Pyromancer behind him, and Chromazar, the Infernal Master. Joining them, they have the Dream Marines, who we've seen from the get-go. And joining them today are the new Sleep Marines. We have a couple more additions. We have the Rubricae, the good old flamey Rubiks. We have Armora, the rainbow ones, and now we have the Pyrrhic Masters, a giant squad of flamey goodness, as well as the Prismatic Blur, who are the Enlightened on discs. And joining us with the incursion into Hearthlack to burn down their idols is Mr. Razamataz, as well as a scrabbling horde of little blue horrors. And last but not least, the Ogmite, who will not forget his duty to Tzeench.
And there you have, folks, 80 power level. John's added a few hard-hitting units to his list as he tries to bring down the Imperials on Hearthlack. Let's dive into the game. And here we are after deployment. The Thousand Suns have risen Rubrique next to that idol, ready to burn it down. We have both units of Terminators in the middle of the board. Razmataz, the big Lord of Change, with his heroic support of characters. The Cavalry back here, and two smaller units of Rubrique there. And then, of course, in the back, the Infernal Master and the Blue Horrors, ready to just push forward and try and burn all the idols of the Space Marines. Marshal Augustine and his 5 Assault Intercessors are in the Impulsor, as well as Otto. We've got the 10 Crusaders, the Chaplain, the Empress Champion, the Banner, the Blade Guard, and the Sword Brethren. The Eliminators, that's what they're called, yeah. And then the Infiltrators back here, just creating a nice big bubble where no big nasty demons of Tzeench can show up. Like with their big teleports. Just don't want that to happen. As for agendas, John, you took cast psychic powers, or the Tzeench demon that casts the most psychic powers gets experience, and the Tzeench, the sorcerer that casts most psychic powers, gets experience, and Reaper, the thing that kills the most, also gets experience.
Yes.
I took Fulfill Your Vows, and I'm taking Abhor the Witch, Destroy the Witch, so I get points for killing Psyker units, and then I took Witch Hunter from the rulebook for killing Psyker units as well, and I also have No Fear, which means for every time I pass a morale test, I will get experience on that unit. Other than that, I've got my ballot and banner tally up, and we're ready to rock and roll on Hearthlack. Now, Hearthlack has a special rule. Whenever John attacks any of my characters, I think he gets +1 to hit. And whenever I take combat attrition tests, I will get I can get +1 to the save. So I basically ignore combat attrition unless I'm 50%. But because I'm Space Marines, they'll just ignore combat attrition. So only one Marine will run ever while we're in Hearthlack. Let's begin. And we got the fateful roll for first turn. Oh. The Black Templars seize the initiative. However, the Tzeentchians can indeed redeploy 3 units with their campaign bonus that they got from phase 1 of the campaign. And we'll see if John decides to do that. Oh, I wonder where they're going. I don't know. So John did redeploy. He basically picked up Rubrique and moved the shooting Rubrique here, the big unit of 10 flamers over there, and is essentially holding the line. I picked the Supreme Focus for my idols, so if I overwatch or interrupt stratagem, I get command points back. Then we're going to go ahead and do my prayer with his, I believe he has the 2, pick the highest, but if I roll a 6, I also get a command point. Yeah, because he's fancy that way. No, but it does go off Litany of Divine Protection, giving them a 5-up ignore damage. And with that, the Black Templars surge forward to abhor the witch, destroy the witch. The Black Templars surge forward because they will suffer not the witch to live. Marshal Augustine and the Assault Intercessors have moved up in the Impulsor. The Dreadnought Ottos moved up to get a good line of sight, potentially do some damage into the Tzeentchian forces. And the Crusader Squad, Emperor Champion, and Chaplain all moving up into the middle to protect the idol in the center of the table, while the Blade Guard Veterans and Sword Brethren, with the mighty Banner of the Ninth, move along the flank. So with that, going to do some shooting into the Chaos Forces. Let's see what they can do before I then charge in. Because of the Abhor the Witch, I get +3 inches to all my movements on the first turn of battle, which means I get to move quite effectively as their witches afoot. At the end of the shooting phase, the Dreadnought and basically all the anti-tank weapons went into that unit of Rubrique and killed 3, and then everything else, all the little guns went into the Enlightened, and I did kill 3 and put a wound on another. And then you use the Unwavering Phalanx on the Terminators to keep them safe from the last fusils, and there was no damage dealt there. Other than that, it's time to charge. And this unit of Crusaders is indeed charging into that unit of Terminators.
Okay.
They make it. Excellent. End of the combat phase. I failed to do much damage to the Terminators, just putting 2 wounds on 1. But then John, well, not John. John rolled well, rolled decently. I transhumaned the unit, and then proceeded to make 5 out of 6 5-up saves on that Space Marine, and he passed one of his Litany of Divine Protection saves. So John didn't kill anything either, which is very unlikely, but it was awesome. So at the end of the turn, that's all I have right now. And with that, we're going to move into turn number 1. You do owe me a morale test on them. Currently, I have 10 command points to your 14 command points. Because, and ooh, they are completely fine. Very nice. They stick around for another time. And they're, of course, are fearless because they're Rubrique. They do not care about anything. So with that, let's dive in to turn number 1 for the Thousand Suns. Well, halfway through the movement phase, we have this entire block, so giant unit of flamers advanced 12 inches up, ready to just completely nuke my flank. The Rainbow Marines and all the Psychers are just trying to collapse my veterans on the flank here. And then he is trying to fall back with this Rubrique unit. So I'm going to use Tenacious Assault for a command point on a 4+. I've locked you in combat and you cannot fall back. No, they are allowed to fall back, which means you will be able to shoot them. We are back after 3 hours of psychic damage. Other than that, we had a gateway go off and do damage to basically everything. We had a Cacodemonic Curse go off and like kill 3 neophytes because you rolled 5 D3s worth of mortal wounds. That was gross. And then some other mortal wounds went off. But namely, +1 strength on those flamers, prescience on these Terminators, +1 toughness on the big chicken, and you still have a 4 that you can use for something. And that's it. On to the shooting phase. And after the shooting phase, 1 neophyte died. But the biggest damage was done over here. The Blade Guard veteran, 2 Blade Guard veterans fell, and he took 2 damage. And the Sword Brethren took heavy casualties, losing 3 of their number as we move into the charge phase. End of the charge phase. The Terminators had to re-roll a charge because they have -1 to their charges. Getting through the forest, however, the Emperor's Champion can heroic 6 inches and is going to jump in to protect his brothers, as well as the Enlightened over here that are charged into that vehicle there as well. And there we have it. The Emperor's Champion got cut down by the Terminators. Even though he got transhuman physiology, they just completely destroyed him. He failed 2 out of his 3 saves that he had to take, and he went down, sadly. However, this unit, surviving at all odds, literally passing all of the Feel No Pains. It has been an awesome unit. Of course, they are fearless, thanks to, and this is fearless over here as well. So, they don't have to take any morale tests. My Sword Brethren does need a morale test, and he passes. So I get experience all round for being fearless in the peril combat. Now, I don't control this objective. I do control this one, and I control this one over here. So I will get 8 points, I believe, because I'm not close enough to that one, which is a mistake on my part. But I should remember that next turn as we move into battle round number 2. Let's see what the Black Templars can do. You've sacrificed or killed my Emperor's Champion, so now there is hell to pay. End of the movement phase. The Dreadnought has moved up. I did spend a command point to grab field this to move out. I am going to... I'm thinking I'm going to stay in combat here, actually. Maybe not. I can't fall back and shoot, which is annoying. So I'm just going to stay in combat. I'm going to probably transhuman them, and hopefully they can survive. So that'll be useful. Everything else is just coming up. I need to deal with the Terminators or I lose. And then I'm just going to make sure I put a little wall around that idol and force John to spend another turn trying to get in range of that idol to burn it. Not doing the mistake to now I'm holding both of these objectives. The banner moved back, and over here we had the Hellblasters coming in from Strategic Reserve, ready to help deal with some rubrics, hopefully. So with that, let's dive into the shooting phase. End of the shooting phase. Not a bad shooting phase, may I say so. Actually, I've got 2 more pistols I forgot to shoot into there. 2 hits. 1 save into those Terminators. They're fine. So the Hellblasters overcharged all their guns to shoot into here. Lost 2 of their number, but they killed a bunch of Psychers. Good. Good. Destroy the witches. The Dreadnought shot into here and shot into the Terminators, helping kill 1, with other guns helping kill the other. So there's 3 Terminators left alive in that squad, but Marshal Augustine and everybody ready to charge in. I was able to surround that with a fire and shoot and basically stop the filthy flamers from burning my idol, at least for 1 more turn before they all die. So that's just kind of how that goes. But my banner is very exposed, and John's probably going to want to burn my banner. So, yep, that's usually how that works. With that, we're going to charge in. Iago is charging into the Rainbow Marines.
I will Overwatch.
Very cool. We got the combats in. The Crusade, the Assault Intercessor Squad, Marshal Augustine and Iago have gotten into the Terminators. Excellent. And with that, let's start with my favorite, which is Marshal Augustine. Because of his heroic constitution and his paragonness and amazingness, he gets 8 attacks because he is awesome. Hitting on 2s, rerolling everything thanks to Chaplain Iago's litany of hate. Very nice. And then wounding on his strength 5, so 3s. But he does have reroll 1s because you are a filthy witch. Excellent. Filthy witch. Good. So we have 6 saves at -3, so they are 4-ups. They're 2 damage each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they're -2. Yeah, so 2-ups go to 4s, and they're 2 damage each. And he'll kill 1 and put 2 wounds on another. Good saves from John. Okay, so he's just going to come in and swipe at my Assault Intercessor Squad. I will be spending 1 command point to Transhuman Physiology then. To try keep them alive.
Okay, hitting on 2s.
Yep. Okay, rerolling 1s because he's right there. Very nice, very nice.
Eating 4s.
Yep. Ooh, that transhuman made like 6 wounds turn into 1. 5-up save. Nope. 1 of the Marines will go down. And then I'm going to spend 2 command points and I'm going to interrupt with this unit over here. Wow, what a brutal combat phase. So, I did lose that entire squad, but I did interrupt. Now, you can interrupt anytime your opponent finishes fighting. You can use your CP to interrupt, even if it's on your opponent's turn, which is different than it was in 8th edition, which it was only on your opponent's turn you could use the interrupt. So, I used it to kill a Terminator over here, but I spent 2 CP for that. And then I wasn't able to kill the last Sorcerer. He has 1 wound remaining, so I surrounded him, just to stop the flamers from killing them and forcing you to shoot them with psychic bullets, essentially. However, we'll see what happens over here. I have been able to essentially stop you from burning my idols for another turn, which just gives me hopefully enough time to stop you from taking Hearthlack, John, because it's such an important moon to me. I don't want to lose it. At the end of the turn, though, I did do a decent amount of damage. I've sort of solidified this flank here, but I'm pretty much just gonna lose all this stuff. Let's just pretend. Let's just pretend that they're gonna die a horrible, hideous death. On to the Thousand Suns' second turn. Can you imagine? It's only turn 2. What an absolute bloodbath as we move into the second part of the game, or second turn of the game. The Infernal Master did his prayer and then stabbed himself with a CP because he had failed it originally, to make sure that you get a free reroll on something this turn, like a psychic test or something like that. And you're going to spend 2 CP to desperate break out that Sorcerer. So on a 1, he just dies. If not, he just gets to move 4 inches because he's slow. In any direction, he does. And if he can't get outside of an inch of me with 4, then he will die. But he can't, because he can just go straight back. And that will allow John to shoot this poor unit to death. Sad. Actually, in retrospect, I'm going to spend the CP to Tenacious Assault, Now, if he doesn't make a fullback move, he can't die, basically, because it's the same thing with the witches. Since you didn't make a fullback move, you didn't end a fullback move. So they're going to try hold him in place. It is my last command point. So I'm so hoping that it foils John's plans. No! Oh, well. End of the movement phase for the Thousand Suns. The Flame Squad is ready to flame. He got away. He's like, nanner, nanner, and like ran away. And then they're going to try and fight Marshal Augustine himself, which is going to be a fun bout. Everything else is just completely trying to overwhelm this flank. And my banner's like, protect me! In a very manly Space Marine voice, yes. Over here we have these horrors jump up, and they're going to come try tie up my Hellblasters in close combat. So, fine. Be that way. On to the Psychic phase, so we'll be back in 3 hours. Wow, what a Psychic phase that was. I lost all of them. I lost the Blade Guard Veteran, almost the entire unit of Eliminators, and my last Sword Brother, all to mortal wounds. Didn't roll a single 5-up this Psychic phase for mortal wound protection, which was a stark contrast to last phase. So it kind of balanced out. With that, Iago has 1 wound remaining, getting really lucky against the Super Smite and only taking 1 mortal, and then an additional D3, 1 mortal. He's alive with 1 wound. But there are 10 flamers just looking at him, waiting to just kill him. So let's dive into the shooting phase and see what happens. Well, in the shooting phase, we had Iago fall to the Stormbolters, and Marshal Augustine took 7 damage, surviving with 1 wound remaining against the Flamers' onslaught from over there. What a crazy, crazy turn of events there. Of course, now Marshal Augustine has to deal with this unit of Terminators in the combat phase. So I don't know if he's going to survive, but that is definitely going to make it hard for the Black Templars to turn it around at this point. Marshal Augustine did end up going down. He did make a few saves, but he did die. You did tie up this thing once again. Okay, so with that, let's dive into turn number 3. I do get 1, 2, 3 of the idols that I control, therefore getting a grand total of 16 points. However, the Thousand Suns will now be able to start burning the idols to the ground. The Black Templars are going to try and rally and stop them and try and prevent as much damage as possible as we move into turn number 3. And there we have it. So I did fall back and decide to shoot with the thing, just basically making sure that none of the Thousand Suns can get within an inch of that unless it's them. But the Dreadnought's going to try and kill some of these Terminators. The Hellblasters are moving at full speed into this idol over here, just trying to get away from the little horrors in the back. And they have stayed still, ready to just lend their support to the oncoming onslaught. So with that, let's do the banner. He's going to shoot at your Tim the Sorcerer again. No. And he does miss this time, however. So no mortal wounds at a crucial moment of the game, and he failed, sadly. Okay, so under the shooting phase, Hellblasters came through and did an incredible amount of damage to the unit, killing 5, even overcharging through a forest. They hit really, really well. The Dreadnought and the Multi-Meltars only killed 2 and put a wound on 1. I did kill that lone Terminator, and sadly I wasn't able to do any more damage to Tim the Sorcerer, which makes me sad inside. Who's that? Who's that?
We got a raid!
Ooh, awesome.
Hi, impending Duff.
Ah, Duff. Oh, that's awesome. So, big shout out to Duff. Thank you so much. He does like classes at LVO and stuff for painting, and goes to like cruise painting and stuff. Oh man, it's great. And Adepticon, I think he's at Nova and Adepticon. He does a whole bunch of stuff, so make sure you check him out. He's awesome. Super Raid! I love it on Twitch, because we're filming while we're doing a Twitch thing, which is awesome. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to charge you here, though. Boop.
Oh no!
Yeah, they're just going to go this way, like this. Okay, Mr. Dreadnought, Otto the Dreadnought. Let's see what you can do. Well, it's the end of the turn. Quite a good turn. I wasn't able to kill any of the Terminators here because the Dreadnought Otto failed to hit with like more than half his attacks. However, I've prevented you from burning multiples of my banners, of my idols. You're going to burn 1. I can't really stop you from burning that one, sadly. But I am in a position to essentially pressure you and hopefully save this one. Hopefully. from the machinations of Tzeench as we move into your third turn. But now that you have less flamers, I feel I should have shot at them earlier, to be honest, because they did most of the work, other than the psychic powers. Okay, so with that, on to turn number 3 for Tzeench. End of the movement phase. We had Razmataz just hop over. He's like, okay, time to party. The flamers over here are torching my idol. I'm very sad about that. While your Paragon's coming to try and burn my banner down, stop him from shooting with a super bolter, which is hilarious. And then, of course, we've got the Infernal Master moving up, and the Little Horrors still trying to catch the Hell Blasters as well. And here we go. The Ambot, he can't come down on this on my board edge, so he's going to try and charge the Hell Blasters mightily. But we have a little spawn coming in as well to just be annoying. And here we are at the end of the Psychic phase. Dreadnought took a mortal. Took 7 mortals on the tank. I lost 2 of the infiltrators. I lost 1 Hell Blaster, and I lost 2 wounds on my banner as well. So moving on to the shooting phase. End of the shooting phase, the Flamers did use like Veterans of the Long War to get +1 to wound. Put 2 more damage on the tank, has 1 wound remaining. Everything else is still alive. That's the big thing. Tank is still alive, being annoying, which is awesome. Okay. So now we go into the charge phase. And there's a couple of charges that John wants to do here. In the charge phase, all the Flamers and Tim the Pyromancer into the tank. We had Lord Infinium go into my banner, Reverend Ancient, and of course the Lord of Change into the Otto the Dreadnought, while using your 1 reroll that you have thanks to your Infernal Pact, you're able to get the Horrors into combat. Very nicely done. So with that, we're on to turn the fight phase. The Flamers have gotten 2 wounds through. I did fail my saves, but I'm going to see if I explode and kill Tim in the process.
No.
Yes, it explodes! Yes, amazing. Excellent. Okay, so let's start with Razmataz, who's in the explosion. He takes a mortal wound.
Okay.
Then the Terminators over here, they take a mortal wound as well. They're down to 1. Then we'll do Tim the Sorcerer, who takes 3 and dies.
Yes.
And then the squad of Flamers that take 1 as well. Excellent.
Oh my goodness.
Good job, little guy. Okay, so the big explosion was great. I did kill Tim, which was awesome. Razmataz didn't do any damage to Otto, and nothing happened over here. In terms of morales, they pass their morale and get points. They pass their morale because they lost another one and get more points. And that is that. Excellent. At the end of the battle round, I only get 15 points because there's only 4 of the idols are left standing. As you can remove that one, you have burnt it to the ground. And my banner is within, I have to attack you back, but my banner is within 6 inches of an opponent, so I will get a banner point at the end of the battle round. Okay, so under the movement phase, my infiltrators have moved up. My Dreadnought has stayed because he needs to. He's just fallen back and created a little bubble around him so the little horrors can't get to within an inch of the where they need to be to burn that down. And my banner has decided to hide again. You know, because that's how we roll. He's only got 1 wound left, so he's probably going to die. And he's going to have to roll to see if the banner gets hurt, which makes me sad. But here we've got shooting. I'm going to go ahead and shoot everything into that Terminator. So shooting, not effective at all. Didn't kill anything. Charging, though, they charge Razmataz, and then basically now get to activate and pile in. I'm going to tag them so they can't do an action, basically, because they're in combat. So all I need is 1 to survive this combat in order to prevent John from burning down this idol, which is super important right now. I need to keep my idols alive. So they are going to fight, and they're going to fight into Razmataz. Don't have too many attacks, so Sergeant has 3 plus a charge, and then 1 guy that can get in range there. Hitting on 3s, and your toughness is a lot.
Razmataz, 7.
Yeah. So needing 5s to wound. So 2 saves. Oh, -1 to wound, though, right? Because of your relic. So 6 is to wound. Just 1 goes through. He has a 4-up save. On a 6, he bounces a mortal. Back, 5 up to ignore. I take a mortal, which I will put on the Sergeant right here. Now you get to pick someone to fight.
Razzmatazz.
Awesome. Where is he fighting?
The guys that just hit him.
Makes sense. Other fighting, Razzmatazz, I did fail a save, but the Helix Adept saved the unit, and then the Terminator turned around and killed... my Dreadnought, Otto, killed the last of the Rubric Terminators, and now we've got the Flamer Rubric attacking to try and kill them, to try and get out of combat, but that is looking unlikely. Okay, so I did lose one of the infiltrators there. He had 1 wound remaining. Razzmatazz and Otto are locked in brutal combat. But with that, we move on to turn number 4 for the Thousand Suns and Tzeench forces. The Chaos forces are really trying to burn down the idols. So this unit of Rubric fell back, ready to, if that guy survives, to move on and burn that objective. They have advanced to make sure they can try and burn this objective. The Warlord has moved up, ready to do some psychic might over here, as well as him advancing at full speed to try and get into here. The Banner literally trying to hide as much as possible as a spawn decides to go and try and murder him. Hilarious. I absolutely love it. Okay, so with that, let's dive into the psychic phase. And here we are at the end of the psychic phase. The Dreadnought did take from 11 down to 5 wounds remaining from all the mortal wounds. I did lose the infiltrators. I lost the Hellblaster, all to mortal wounds, because just smites and smites and more smites and more smites. Okay, so onto the fight phase or charge phase. You advanced with them, and...
You get a shot because he's a monster.
Very cool. So he's going to shoot in the shooting phase. He's got his...
6 shots.
Okay, so nothing there. I do get to punch you back. I've taken 5 and mid bracket, so I'm hitting on 4s into Razzmatazz. Okay, 2 hits, needing normally 3s, but -1. Oh no, your strength, your toughness 7, right?
Correct.
So I think I'm tough 14 on him. Yes, strength at ×2. Yeah, so it's 2s goes to 3s because he's normally really killy. Okay, so 2 4-ups. From Razzmatazz with his conversion field. He passes both because he's got his 4s or his demon save, whichever one. Okay, so now he gets to swing back. End of the moon phase. I'm going to keep Otto the Dreadnought in close combat. My Banner is just moving up. He has 1 shot to shoot into them. If he hits, he does D3 mortal wounds, killing the one that's wounded, preventing the burning of that objective. I do have 2 CP, so I'm probably going to use a reroll here if I need. But he's got marksman honors, hitting on 3s. He does. Uh-oh. D3 mortal wounds, 1 mortal wound will perils, boop, and just kill that model there. Excellent. Otto the Dreadnought is going to fire into Razzmatazz. Okay, Razzmatazz, take this from a very wounded Dreadnought. I think I'm hitting you on 5s now. And I need normally 5s, but 6s because of your -1 to be wounded Warlord trait. So 2, just 2 3-ups. Yep, you're fine. You're a demon Tzeench. You don't care. Okay, Razzmatazz, punch me. That's all hit. Very nice.
That's 1 wound.
Okay. Did I save? I do. Oh, I get to punch you back. I hit you on 5s now, I believe. He is definitely lowest bracket, needing 5s. 2 hits. Needing 3s because of your -1 to wound. I will spend a reroll here. Excellent. 2. Ooh, 1 goes through. D3 plus 3 damage. That's 4, and I can't reroll it anymore. So, yep, there you go. Down to... he's so tough to kill. So that's it for me. That's all I got. Nothing else. Now with that, you are on to your turn. Your turn number 5. What a crazy time this has been so far. And there we have it. So turn number 5, the horrors will burn down this idol. These Tzeentchians will burn down this idol. With me only having 2 idols remaining on the table, John will get 75 primary points, and I will get 60 points because I'm only able to stop him from burning. I needed to stop him from burning 1 more idol, and I would have been able to stem the tide of chaos. With that, Tzeench has turned the tides on Hearthlack, ready to strike at the heart of the Imperial morale sector. And with that, let's dive in to some post-game, but a chaos victory on episode number 8. After action report for the Black Templars, 3 of my units leveled up. I did end up spending a command point to, or requisition to basically add 5 more Hellblasters to my Hellblasters. Some serious heavy firepower for the remainder of the campaign. They did level up, and I gave them veterans. Reroll 1s to hit should prevent them from blowing themselves up more frequently. The Dreadnought also leveled up. Otto, absolutely amazing. I did mark him for greatness because he did fantastic this game. He got repair systems. And then the Infiltrators, they took a battle scar, but I spent a requisition to basically ignore it, and they got battle tested. They can now do actions and shoot, which I hope will make them useful, more useful as a little, you know, action monkeys in the end of the campaign. There you have it. My Crusade grows as we move on to the end of Phase 3. John, what of your army leveled up this game?
So we have Lord Infinium, who has leveled up. He has finally been given a Warlord trait and relic. He has taken Thridagire, the fancy disc, and he is now guided by the Whispers.
Very cool.
And then the Pyromaniacs. They earned their laurels today by setting things ablaze, and they are now fleet of foot.
+1 move, +1 advance. That's going to make them really good to get those flamers where they need to go. There you have it, folks. And there you have it, folks. Thanks a lot for watching. Of course, that's John the Cron. Make sure you check him out on Twitch. When do you do streams, John?
We stream on Thursday nights. Actually, we stream this one. We have a behind-the-scenes thing going on, and we stream Dungeons & Dragons on Sunday nights.
That's right, so make sure you check him out. The link will be down below so you can check out John the Cron and all the cool stuff he does. Of course, huge shout out to the channel Patreons who support me in what I do. That's the best way to help me out, is to support me on Patreon. The link is down below. Like that, we can do more of these really fun things like battle reports and things that you enjoy watching. After all, I've been Skari, your grateful host, and this has been John the Cron. And happy 2022, and here's to a fantastic 2023.